last topic of the week, the Eternals. It's going to start shooting this year, despite the fact that there's not a whole lot of details on this movie or anything, really.
Nope, we know they're casting 2 roles right now.
Uh-huh.
Or at least for the next couple of months, they're casting 2 roles. So maybe we'll get a first look at them. Maybe Endgame. Maybe Captain Marvel if they're quick with it. I don't know. I wouldn't imagine Captain Marvel, actually. It's too soon for that. But, yeah, we got that. I thought they were starting production September, but apparently it's August.
I mean, if they want to bump it up just because of time restraints, it makes a little bit more sense, you know?
It also looks like it's definitely taken that Guardian spot.
Yes, it is.
Production-wise. So maybe the crew that was let go from that can come back for this. So I think it's also being filmed in the same spot.
It looks like they're going to the same type of studio outlet. Because, let's be real, they have that time kind of carved out to shoot something.
Yeah.
So
it's like... they definitely got Atlanta locked down, so...
Yeah, they do.
Speaking of Atlanta, that's another person that said this movie was fake, and you can take pictures of a fake movie, mate.
I mean, a lot of people were reporting this as fake, despite them kind of backwards confirming that that's the direction they're going in, and it kind of it being out there for almost a year now.
Well, I mean, they put on the Marvel website that it's announced.
Yeah.
And people are still saying it's fake. It's like, how? Like, this thing exists. Like, it's right there. We have a director. We have the script. We know they're casting. They're starting production soon. Like, how was anyone... To be fair, it's no different to the Quantum Realm suits for Avengers. It's like, oh, they're fake. I don't like it. It's like, oh, no,
they're everywhere.
So that production art's fake. It's like, no, it's on merchandise now. Like, it's real.
Yeah, it's... Well, I mean, just kind of thinking about it, Eternals has this interesting factor to it that I think a lot of people just want to dismiss it because it sounds a little bit more insane that most people are willing to believe they're going to go in, but it's like, no, they're going to...
I think it's because of Inhumans.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they've already announced that and tried it once, it didn't happen, and they're not going to do it again. It's like, no, they're doing it again.
Well, I think what turns a lot of people off from it also is when they initially talked about it, you know, there was that quote about how it's going to deal with the entire history of the universe and like the whole ancient aliens. It's like, oh, the Egyptians, no, that was Eternals. You know, oh, this in history, no, that's Eternals. I think people are also worried that that's a huge monumental task to take, but it's like, they don't need to spend 30 minutes in Egypt explaining pyramids. Like, the Collector explained the Infinity Stones in like 30 seconds. Like,
in a really good way, too.
Yeah, like people are, I think, overthinking this movie too much to why it won't happen when it's clear as day it's gonna happen.
It's just
and actually, speaking of that Infinity Stone bit, that was an Eternal setup as well.
Yeah.
It has Celestial in it, so...
Yep.
Yeah,
which just... then they're no doubt going to be in the movie, because they make the bloody thing, so...
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how soon we see the Eternals in anything, because you can't sit there and be like, all right, well, they're getting ready to start doing all their filming in August. They could potentially, if they get somebody soon enough, they can have an end cutscene and put it in Endgame.
Sort of like the, what was it? Dark World had the Guardians thing?
Yeah.
Like the weird Fibonacci freaking, you know, like
the
Del
bit
Toro.
that no one had a clue what was going on.
Yeah, it's
just like, what the hell is this for?
Right, it's like, what are you... I mean, I could see something like that if they cast like a lead role or two, right? You could feasibly see that they probably have some sort of versions of the suits already on lockdown. They're working on them.
Oh, yeah.
If they hurry it up.
There's like key art and everything, like keyframe art.
Or they can even sit there and do like they did and hid Spider-Man from Civil War, and everything is just CG. Look at how good that came out.
What we know, we don't even know, like... Well, most of the stuff we've seen for Endgame could be fake. So for all we know, they could go into the Quantum Realm and find an Eternal in there. You know, like we have no idea.
I mean, like, luckily with Avengers, Eternals are easily slipped in because Thanos is an Eternal.
Yep.
He's an Eternal-born deviant, to be technical. But,
Shan and I were talking about this. Aren't they casting for Thanos' brother, I think?
I haven't heard that.
It was something along those lines. Yeah.
I know the 2 Eternals they are casting right now are... They're not calling it Sprite because I can't trademark the name. But it's Piper, and if you remember the casting list, it was someone called Karen.
Yeah.
But there's no Eternal called Karen. So I'm convinced that's like Cersei's human form, and that's kind of like what we're going to see in Endgame as a post... Like, you know, it makes sense the post-credit scene to have, like, Piper come up and be like, you're an Eternal, but...
Yeah.
And then
I'm
you introduce
excited.
it that way.
Yeah, I think the excitement for Endgame for me comes from the unknown factor. You know, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's something I don't know, something I'm not used to, something new and fresh. And that's honestly like I keep saying, you know, I want new franchises to kind of go forward, and you can ditch the old stuff I know. And Eternals is like the ultimate show of here's something you've never expected.
I say Eternals doesn't, it's got what, the Jack Kirby run, maybe a run in the early 2000s, and then one in like the late 2000s. So it's not like there's a lot to go off, so they can do what they want. And it's like, this is like, we're going to put our spin on it, but at the same time, this is going to be completely new for most people.
Right. It's a lot of interesting stuff happening for Marvel, which I'm honestly, Eternals gets me super hyped. That's all I could say about it. And we don't know too much about it. That's the thing, right? So we're kind of sitting in this interesting, like, all the speculation we do could be right, could be wrong. I don't know. Like,
And I imagine they're probably going to take, because I think the Kirby stuff was very much like they've been here throughout history side, and then you've got the game and run, which is very much we're going to reintroduce these.
Yep.
So both those runs work really well for a first movie. So
that's true.
that's what I would do, and I imagine that's what they're going to do as well, because you can kind of like just look at the comics and be like, oh yeah, that's what they're going to do with this, and that's what they're going to do. But
Yeah.
we'll find out soon enough. I imagine we'll get a first look maybe at Comic-Con.
Yeah, Comic-Con, and then I'm assuming if anything is saved, a D23 is at the end of the summer, right at the end of August, September. So, like, if Disney really wants to push D23 as their big thing, you have to go here.
Yeah.
You know,
and
like-
even if they don't do it in either one of those, like by the end of the year, we'll be seeing something.
Oh god, we'll have set leaks guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not a worry.
We'll just see that full Kirby suits.
Oh yeah,
Because they better, if they step away from that, I'm gonna get mad.
same. Which I hope they won't.
They won't. I've got faith.
Well, Eternals is coming, folks.